Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Savannah. I'm Danielle Alexander, and I'll be your worship associate today. Our minister, Reverend Lisa Day, is our worship leader this morning. Here at the UU Church of Savannah, we're working hard to build a diverse, multicultural, and beloved community. We celebrate the presence and participation of LGBTQIA+ and straight people of all races, genders, abilities, and ethnic and national origins. We warmly welcome you on YouTube and on site, whoever you know yourself to be and wherever you are in your journey. If you're visiting with us this morning and would like to introduce yourself, please rise or raise your hand, and Jane or Martha will bring you a microphone. Is there anyone on this side who's visiting with us this morning? Welcome. Okay. Are there any visitors on this side? Okay.
We're visiting from Tampa.
Okay. Welcome. It's so good to have you all with us. If you're looking for a new faith community, we encourage you to visit several times to get a feel for our worship style and our approach to matters of faith and religion. It is good to have you all with us. Please join us in Ron Hall for refreshments following the service. You'll find Ron Hall in the next building by following the crowd through this door to my right, or you can go through the main doors and turn right again. Our choir takes a summer break. Music at summer services is provided by our music director, David Nitches, at the piano, along with a variety of guest musicians and soloists. This morning, we're delighted to welcome back Ray Williams on bass. Hey, Ray. After the offering, we sing a short response. The lyrics will be printed in the order of service. There are 2 cards in the pew back in front of you to help us gather information for the good of our community. On the rainbow chalice card, which looks like this, you can use the QR code to sign up for information and to receive a welcome letter from our minister, or you can fill out that card by hand. The card with the red heart and the chalice, which looks like this, is to share a joy or sorrow. If you fill out either of these cards, please put the card in the collection plate later in the service. Church announcements are emailed to members and friends on Tuesdays and Fridays. Check your email for complete details about the following. There are still some spots for Celebrating Families Help. Please contact Chris Carroll for more information about that. And Religious Ed is seeking donations for mixed stages classrooms and the nursery. Look in the RE donation wish list on Amazon, and our great RE director, Megan, can also help you with that. If you're under 40 or thereabouts, please join Reverend Lisa and other church members and friends in your age cohort for a happy hour in Ron Hall this Tuesday from 4:30 to 8. With the lighting of our chalice, symbol of Unitarian Universalist faith, we enter into sacred time. Our chalice lighter this morning is Chris Carroll. As we anticipate shorter days and longer nights, we let the light of the chalice illuminate our hearts and minds.
Open the doors, push on looming wooden arches embroidered with ironwork, brace shoulders against the weight of history unmoved, slough off the musty smell of unused joy and stored up sorrow, knock rust off the hinges if you have to, and let your breath precede you inside. Open the doors more. Make room for a shaft of sunlight to cross the threshold. Give the dust mote something to dance about. Peek through a single slice of possibility and name even the half-hidden truths you are. Open the doors wider still. Pour yourself through the gap. Strut or sneak or sidle as suits you best. Cleanse whatever scrapes catch your skin and bind up the wounds that keep you from entering whole. Open the doors as far as they will go. Draw on the strength of the stones beneath you. Ground yourself in a firm sense of who you are. Stand as a beacon welcoming the next seeker and shine far beyond the lentil and still. Open all that you are. Heighten and deepen your connections to the world around you. Broaden your definition of neighbor. Grow into the largest target of grace that you can muster, and pray to become a gateway for even greater love and compassion. Open up the doors, my friends, lest we keep the stranger out and condemn ourselves to prisons of our own making. Let us worship together. Will you please rise in spirit or in body for our opening song? David, fresh from his music conference, learned something to teach us.
Spirit made a place for you where everything is new. Spirit made a place for you where everything is new. place for you, where everything is new. Spirit made a place for you, where everything is new.
All right, kids, no story this morning. Instead, I want you to put on your backpacks, put them on if you brought them, and I want you to stand up on the pews. Remember, this is a once-a-year invitation. Your adults probably tell you, yep, stand up, right up there. Okay. Now, turn around and look at all the faces looking at you. People you know and people you don't know. And I want you to know that they love you and that they are with you when you go to school or daycare, on the bus and in the hallways, in the lunchroom and the playground and your classrooms. They are with you at home too, and if you go on vacation. They are there with you in your heart, loving you and cheering you on. That's always the case. But today they're going to give you their love and a few other blessings, extra special wishes or prayers for really good and important things visibly, so you always know you have them. Now, please carefully get down from your pews and come forward to Megan. Wait, come forward when you hear me describe you. Grown-ups, you come forward too if you brought a bag or if you just want some blessings. Or you can send your bag up with a helper. So come forward if you use a backpack or a book bag to take books and homework to school. If you bring a lunch or sack or other meal, bring it forward. Do you carry a computer bag or a briefcase or another bag of supplies to the places where you work? You can even bring your pretend bags up. Do you carry an overnight bag from one parent's house to another parent's house and back again? Bring a bag or a satchel full of books or yarn or knitting or needlework to places where you might need to wait patiently. Do you have a special bag for carrying your dog or cat? And if you have any other bags or use any other bags that could use to be filled with blessings, come forward. And if you're with us today on YouTube, hold up your bags or hold open your arms and we'll fill them with blessings too. Okay, Megan. No.
Is it working now? Okay. I think I break technology. Hi, everybody. Thank you guys so much for bringing your bags, and thank you to the adults who brought yours as well. How many of you have empty book bags today? Quite a few of you? Yeah. How many of you have some stuff in your bags already? So they're already a little heavy, I bet. So not to worry, everything we're adding will weigh nothing, but will help support you as you go to school and work this year. So we want you guys to know that you are so loved here at church, but you're also loved every other day of the week. And we care about what happens to you at school and at work. And we want to give you a little reminder of that. So if you could take your book bags off, or your satchel bags or briefcases or whatever you have, and open them up to be ready to receive some blessings. And if all of you out there in the congregation could look in your pocket or your purse and find a little extra love and smash it up like a snowball. And when you have it, raise your hand up, full of love. Oh yeah, Luke's firing it up. All right, is everybody ready? Okay, on 3, 2, 1, we're gonna throw the love into your book bags, all right? 3, 2, 1, throw! Oh, did y'all catch some? Oh, good. Now, we also know that when you go to school or work, sometimes you can get a little bit nervous, right? Sometimes you can be a little bit scared. So it can be nice to have a little extra courage. If you were in RE last week, 2 weeks ago, that's what we talked about, was the courage and going back to school with courage. So we're gonna get a little extra courage from you guys. So if you could find your courage again, ball it up. Some people, you might wanna throw 2 balls full, you know, both hands. Yeah, we need a lot of courage. We're gonna throw on 3, 2, 1. You guys ready to catch? 3, 2, 1, throw! Oh, that was so much courage. Yes. Okay, now what else do you guys need when you go back to school or work? Anything you're looking for? Energy. Oh, that's a good one. And most of these kids can't drink coffee yet, so double up on that too. So we'll do 3, 2, 1, throw! Oh, energy, yeah. Anything else? How about from the kids? Any ideas of things you might need for school?
Brains.
That's so good. Brains. Now, already know each of you, so I know you've got some of that already, but why not add a little extra? You guys ready? Pull out your brains. 3, 2, 1, throw! Okay, now Noah suggested lunch, which I also think is very important. Now, since we can't actually throw sandwiches and French fries and apples at you, maybe we could throw something called nourishment. Do you know what that means? It means something that fills you up on the inside and makes you feel good. So let's throw some nourishment. You got your bag ready, Noah? Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, nourishment! All right, any other suggestions, Elias? Ideas, ooh, like creativity maybe? Ideas and creativity? That is a great one. You need lots of that for school and work. So on 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, ideas and creativity. Yeah. Any other ideas? Now that you're full of ideas, anything at all? Patience. I think the adults and the kids need a dose of that. So if you have a little extra patience in your back pocket, let's ball it up. 3, 2, 1, throw. Awesome. And anybody have any ideas from the congregation? Focus. Oh, that's a great one. The ability to really pay attention. That's a good one. So 3, 2, 1, focus. All right, let's do one more. Any other ideas? Laughter. Oh, okay. So on this one, let's all laugh while we throw. Okay? So 3, 2, 1. All right. Now, we want to remind each one of you that are here today that the love and courage that we sent with you today is going to go with you all year. But if you ever need more, you come and ask us, okay? Because we're always here to provide it. Same for the adults. Thank you, guys.
I'm so happy that you have your bags full of the best blessings of our congregation. And before you go back to your pews with your family or up to RE, we have got a little flaming chalice charm that you can take and attach to your backpack so you can remember all of these blessings. Claudia?
Thank you.
I can help you guys put them on your bags if you want. Can I just one for Hugo? He forgot his book bag. Thanks.
Noah. There you go. Whoops. Here you go.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for participating. All right, now we'll sing you on your way.
Go now in peace. Go now in peace. May the Lord
Generosity of spirit and resources binds what has been broken and enables our collective imagination to cast itself into the future and imagine a better world. Your contribution gives life and reach to our many ministries in our church community and beyond. It is now time for us to take the offering. To donate by a debit or a credit card, please use the QR code on the back of the order of service or go to www.uusavannah.org and click the donate button. Mailed checks are also welcome. Thank you for your generosity. Together we build a better world. The gifts of the congregation will be most gratefully received. It's now time to acknowledge and lift up the joys and sorrows in our community. Violence and threats of violence are always among us, but we especially hold in our hearts those around the world who are living with war, famine, storms, and natural disasters, and other hardships and sorrows. We weep with you for your losses and rejoice with you in the hope for a kinder future. This morning, our hearts particularly go out to those affected by the racist riots and mob violence in the United Kingdom. We also hold in our hearts all people locally who are being affected by flooding and the other aftermaths of Tropical Storm Debbie. This morning, Mike Barth has a joy. Our daughter is home from college, and we got to miss 3 days of public school teaching last week to be with her. We also have a sorrow from Susan Daggett. My family is in mourning for 2 recent deaths. My father, W. David Small, died on July 16th at the age of 95. He was mentally alert until the final 48 hours. A beloved niece, Amber Small, died earlier this week after a many years battle with a rare form of cancer. She was in her mid-30s. Our hearts are with Susan. Let us hold all our joys and sorrows, spoken and unspoken, in our hearts as we join together in the responsive reading found in your order of service. Sorrow is everywhere. As we mourn together and offer thanks, so may it be now and in all the days to come.
Let us continue in a spirit of meditation. The words of meditation this morning are from Joan McIntosh. Suppose our real job is watching primroses bunched and bright as a mass of candles until late afternoon when they dim and fold, and noting the quick purple shout of spiderwort behind the veil of coral bells, and smiling at gaudy pink impatience so lacking in subtlety, and lamenting one ghostly clematis blossom that flared, then died with its vine, that stretched from deep maple shade toward unreachable sun. Amen. Our first reading this morning is from C.B. Beale, a Unitarian Universalist leader whose intro on Facebook reads, "Good coffee, healthy relationships, justice and liberation, consent and sexuality education, and joy." We can't hypothesize a revolution. Welcome to the movement to save, grow, create democracy. What do we do now? We who are waking up and arriving now don't need to invent a plan to fight fascism. We need to figure out who we are following and follow them. It is crucial that we follow the lead of those most impacted, most experienced, and most skillful. Take instruction. Be the person who shows up day after day to protest with a trunk full of water bottles. Be the church that provides movement daycare. Be the legal office that works after hours every day making copies of flyers. Be the person who shows up at events to hand out N95 and KN95 masks of different styles so people can find the ones that fit their faces best. Be the landlord who rents space for $1 plus electric. Make sandwiches, do the dishes, do what is needed, grateful to be able to serve. Followership is tricky for folks who are used to leading and being the ones with the microphone. And that's part of our learning, many of us who are just arriving. It's rarely our mic unless we are amplifying movement leadership. It's okay to be new to this. It's important not to think that our skill and competence in other areas means that we know how to defend the neighborhood or Constitution or turn out votes in our current gerrymandered county. The trick is not to think that our opinions are as valuable as on-the-ground experience and decades of movement practice. This is especially true if we aren't as skilled as we think we are at carefully noticing the difference between what we think and hypothesize and what we know. We can't hypothesize a revolution, but we can follow the revolutionaries, historians, organizers, activists, and leaders on the ground. We can support those who have the skills for and experience in doing the work. We can say, "I don't know. What do you need me to do?" And our second reading, Let It Be Known, by Unitarian Universalist minister Nancy MacDonald Ladd. The Reverend Ladd recently left River Road UU congregation, where she was senior minister, to be the director of communication and public ministry at the Unitarian Universalist Association. Let it be known that when the world was shrouded in sorrow, good people got together and debated the bylaws. Let it be known that when the seeds of the new world germinated, they did so out of season and under the surface. When most of us were too busy, flailing too loudly to sense their stirring. Let it be known that the world as it is has always been the water, we the fish, swimming restlessly, trying to summon up a landscape beyond the bowl in which we might survive our freedom together. Let it be known that in this moment, we were tired from the swimming and the long labor of our imagining, and let it be known that even so, though we were too busy and too afraid, the seed still stirred in wild hearts and jagged places of the weary world. And we found the courage to tell stories bigger than the boundaries we laid out for ourselves, which dictated the narrow circumference of our dreaming. Here in the readings. Will you rise now in body or spirit for hymn number 326, Let All the Beauty We Have Known, the gray hymnal.
Let all the beauty
A person was being chased by a tiger. The tiger chased them straight to the edge of a cliff. They grabbed a strong vine and began to lower themselves to the bottom before noticing another tiger waiting below. They clung ever tighter to the vine and prepared to wait out the ravenous tigers. Then a mouse began gnawing at the vine. The person looked at the tiger above and the tiger below. They looked at the mouse and then noticed a wild strawberry growing just within arm's reach. They plucked it and ate it. It was very sweet. I was a sophomore in high school when John Hinckley attempted to assassinate President Reagan. Our family didn't keep a television or radio playing in the background at all times, so I learned about the attempt on the president's life when the director of religious education from our family UU church called to talk to me about something else. The phone call sticks in my memory because I didn't receive many phone calls from Nancy in those days, though in later years, as I became a religious professional myself and she moved on to be a district and later regional staff person, we would speak frequently. But the main reason the call stands out in my memory is that as I received that piece of news from her and relayed it to my parents, I was struck by the seeming discordance of a religious professional passing along a piece of secular news, momentous though it was. Looking back on it now, though, it seems strange that I had such rigid boundaries in my perception of what constitutes the religious realm of life and what does not. As far as I recall, my parents never made an explicit connection between religious and national and world affairs and personal liberties. But that was a message I observed through observation and participation in our family life, even if for a while the message remained in my subconscious. My parents were more actively religious than most of our neighbors and the parents of our friends. Between them, they taught Sunday school, led coming of age, served on the board of trustees several times, volunteered with Hmong refugees, our church sponsored, and volunteered in the church office and music departments. And, oh yeah, they brought us to church every Sunday, unless we were out of town, and critiqued the minister's sermon on the drive home. At home, we said grace before meals and lit Advent candles in December. All that instilled the dual message that religion is important and that church matters enough for us to devote a significant portion of our family's week to it. At the same time, my parents were visible consumers of news. They read the daily paper and Time magazine and watched television news. They may not have had a television or radio playing all the time, but the news was on often enough that there was a period of time when the opening theme of network news frightened me. I associated it with talk of the oil embargo and an energy crisis I was sure would cast us into darkness without a moment's notice. Mom and Dad discussed the news at the supper table. They discussed the Watergate hearings with an uncle during a family visit to my grandparents. When Nixon resigned the presidency 50 years ago this past Friday, we all watched it on television along with a family friend who was over for supper. When we went on an extended camping trip in the autumn of 1976, my parents joined a handful of other campers in a state park restroom to watch the presidential debates on a portable television. My parents didn't just know what was going on in the world outside our suburban home, they made sure they knew. And we, my sister and brother and I, noticed. When my parents talked about why they left the Methodist Church and started bringing us to the Unitarian Universalist Church, they said it was because they didn't agree with the preaching. They never said, and I should probably ask one of these days, what exactly they disagreed with. When I tell the story to myself, however, my parents didn't leave over a disagreement over transubstantiation and consubstantiation or any equally wonky bit of theology. Knowing what I know of my parents when I tell myself the story of their move from a Christian church to the Unitarian Universalist, it's because they disagreed with that church's message on a more foundational theological level. Like what it really means to welcome the stranger and love our neighbors, and who exactly is our neighbor. In the early 1970s, when we made that transition, kind of like in the mid-2020s, that meant matters of race and personal bodily autonomy and gender equality and war. In other words, our family found its way to Unitarian Universalism because religion isn't a realm apart from current events, world affairs, and the lives we live. Religion is inextricably bound to and through the lives we live and the worlds within which we dwell, natural, societal, and global. Though our perspectives will differ slightly depending on our politics, our personal, financial, and familial situations, our genders and other defining characteristics, our varying degrees of physical ability and disability, I think it's pretty safe to say that almost a quarter of the way through the 21st century, most of us feel kind of like the person who has been chased by a tiger. We fled from the tigers of the Great Recession and the pandemic only to find ourselves peering down at tigers of job insecurity and changing career trends. We've clung to vines woven of multiple jobs and watched the mouse of inflation gnaw away at purchasing power. Held fast to dreams of education and home ownership, watching the mice of rising tuition costs and rising interest rates chew through the vine of possibility. with the tigers of unemployment and a lifetime of renting below us, and the tigers of societal expectation and family pressure above us. Chased by the tigers of cheap clothing and fossil fuel dependency, we've nearly fallen to the tigers of greed and indulgence. The vines of decency and foresight supporting us nibbled away at by mice of self-interest, habit, and complacency. We've run for our lives from pursued by tigers of racism and homophobia and transphobia and misogyny. We've clung to vines of long-established rights and newly recognized rights as mice of hatred, and sanctioned bullying and scarcity politics gnaw away at our safety nets, and the tigers of back alley healthcare, violence, and tyranny circle below. If we dwell in worlds and live lives that cannot be unbound from the religious impulse toward meaning-making and striving after justice, repair, and the never-ending revelation of an abundant, embracing love, and I believe we do, then in late summer 2024, as we hang off the edge of a cliff, our assignment is twofold. Taste the sweetness, refuse to let go. I have no illusion that I know the political views of everyone in this congregation. I'm pretty sure we're not all on the same side of the increasingly chaotic party-separating aisle. I also don't know what views all of us hold on social issues, rights debates, and global climate change causes and solutions, all the things that have become shorthand codes for certain kinds of political stances. Again, I'm pretty sure we're not all on the same page, but I'm sure that we can't survive surrender if we surrender, if any of us surrender. Most of us, for example, believe the fate and future of our country is on the ballot in November, again, regardless of our politics. And as such, with those stakes, we can't abandon our pursuit of the future we believe in, whatever future each one of us believes in. We must work to get out the vote, and we must get out to vote. And whatever the outcome in national, state, and local elections, not letting go means knowing and acting on the knowledge that casting our votes can't be the end of our efforts. My friend and colleague Ashley Horan, who's the Vice President for Program and Ministries at the UUA, and who describes herself as queer, femme, mama, Unitarian Universalist minister taking my shift for the revolution, wrote earlier this week. The ever-brilliant Ricardo Levins Morales teaches that the soil is more important than the seeds. Our work as visionaries, as movement builders, as organizers for liberation depends on our ability to create the conditions of possibility for victory over long arcs of time. This includes primarily creating narratives of hope, liberation, possibility, and freedom that seem not only plausible, but within our reach. We cannot accept the frames offered to us by fascism, by authoritarianism, by scarcity and oppression. Electoral politics is one tiny part of the work of soil tilling, but it is nevertheless important. So there's work to do, both before the election and after. And when we have a new administration in office, let's keep organizing the heck out of them and all our elected leaders. The soil is ours to tend, friends. The words of Ashley Horan. She was writing from a political stance I generally share, but mostly tried to edit out because I think the task is the same from either side. If you believe the future is at stake, the task is the same. And she was writing primarily about the national elections coming up, but her point applies broadly. Before elections and after elections, and in years that are not election years on the big stage, the lion's portion of not letting go is the work of tending the soil so that the seeds we want to see grow have a fertile place to take root. The seeds of climate justice work, restoring reproductive rights, funding creative, pedagogically sound public education, including arts education and funding it well, recognizing and protecting the rights of those existing on the margins of society, especially trans youth, trans women of color, and undocumented folks living within our border, to name a few of the seeds. Not letting go, not allowing ourselves to succumb to visions of dystopia or to the weariness of living between tigers is a vital part of our assignment, but it is only part. We must also taste the sweetness life holds for us. Regardless of the specifics of personal circumstances, and despite the presence of tigers more numerous and ferocious than I can imagine or describe, the cliff sides of the natural, societal, and global world we dwell within are dotted with strawberries. Perhaps not as densely or abundantly as we would desire, but always one or two just within arm's reach. Babies born with lots of hair and toddlers with almost no hair. A marriage forging bonds of love between families that were once strangers. The spectacle of the Olympic opening and closing ceremonies and the strength, speed, grace, and camaraderie of the Olympic and Paralympic athletes in between. Snoop Dogg along for the ride, and Flavor Flav sponsoring the U.S. women's water polo team. Friends who still laugh at the story you've told too often. Dog-eared books that changed how we see the world, sitting on a shelf where we can see them every day. Dogs whose tails wag every time we walk by, and cats whose purr resets our heartbeat. Distant cousins who show up at the funeral, the potato salad you can count on at the potluck, teenagers who reply easily to "I love you," crowd-funded mutual aid that provides relief to a friend or stranger in crisis, a new album by Beyonce or Taylor Swift, Drake or Kendrick Lamar, a Savannah Philharmonic concert or a 4-hour Bruce Springsteen concert, Jagger strutting on stage still, or the choir singing an anthem here at church. Sunrises, sunsets, and meteor showers, actual strawberries, and persimmons, and cathead biscuits, sushi and vegan pizza, sweet tea, and safe, clear drinking water. So many strawberries within arm's reach, ready for us to pluck and taste with our eyes and our ears, our tongues, our fingers, our whole wondrous bodies, our imagination, and our curiosity. The Zen tale at the start of this sermon, one I heard often growing up in my family's UU church, ends with the taste of that strawberry. It was very sweet. Maybe it gives the person the vision and cleverness to escape their perilous situation. Maybe the person dies with the sweetness on their tongue. All we know is that they ate it, and it was very sweet. I believe, as a poet once wrote, that made all the difference. And I believe it makes all the difference in our lives. Caught, as we so often are, between existential dangers, as even established and long-trusted sources of safety or security or justice are nibbled away, it makes all the difference that we pluck and taste what sweetness what joy we spy within arm's reach. In this church, now and in the weeks and months to come, may we be upfront about the situation, about the tiger and the other tiger and the mouse, and support one another in all our efforts to not let go. And may we be upfront about the whole situation, including the strawberry, thus encouraging one another to recognize it in all its guises, to stretch out almost beyond reach to pluck it and to taste the sweetness. And so may we all be blessed. Amen. Will you rise in body or spirit and turn to the insert to your order of service for our closing song?
Okay, we are celebrating the end of the hurricane. We're celebrating the sunny weather until this afternoon at least. So sing along with us. Here we go. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all our obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now. The rain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rain I've been praying for. It's gonna be bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. One more time, bright. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day.
To live in this world, you must do three things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends on it, and when the time comes to let it go, to let it go. Amen.